For over 4,500 years, one question has fascinated historians, scientists, engineers, and anyone who has ever looked at a picture of the Great Pyramid. How were the ancient Egyptians able to build something so massive, so precise, and so enduring, without modern machines? The Great Pyramid of Giza is made of more than 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing anywhere from 2 to 70 tons. Its base is almost perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions, and its construction is so precise that modern engineers still debate how it was physically possible. Were these monuments built with simple tools, brilliant engineering? Or did the ancient Egyptians know secrets that modern science is only just beginning to uncover? Today, we dive into the real methods, the forgotten techniques, the engineering mysteries, and the mind-blowing theories behind how the pyramids were truly built. Let's begin. Section 1. The scale of the impossible. First, let's understand just how unbelievable these structures are. The Great Pyramid, built for Pharaoh Khufu around 2560 BC, was the tallest man-made structure on Earth for 3,800 years. It stands at 481 feet tall and covers 13 acres. The precision is shocking. Each side is aligned almost perfectly north, south, east, and west. The stones fit so tightly that you can't even slide a razor blade between many of them. And somehow, this structure survived earthquakes, erosion, and thousands of years without collapsing. So the big question: how did a civilization without iron tools, wheels, or cranes do this? To answer that, we must break the process into stages. Section 2. Quarrying the massive stone blocks. The first step was to cut the stones. And this is where people underestimate the Egyptians. Even without iron tools, they had copper chisels, dolerite pounding stones, and sand abrasion techniques that were shockingly effective. Egyptians used dolerite, one of the hardest stones on Earth, to pound out trenches in the limestone. They would fill these trenches with wooden wedges, soak them in water, and allow expansion to crack the blocks free. But the real genius lies in the organization. Archaeologists now believe the Egyptians had specialized quarry teams, each with hundreds of workers. They worked in shifts, coordinated like a modern construction company. Every stroke, every cut, every block, tracked and logged. This level of organization is one of the real secrets behind the pyramids. Section 3. Moving stones that weigh more than cars. Okay, so the stones were cut, but how did they move them? For centuries, people imagined thousands of men dragging blocks across the desert, but that's not entirely true. Egyptians used a brilliant, simple trick: water. A famous tomb painting from Jehutihotep shows workers pulling a massive statue on a sled. But a man in front pours water on the sand. Modern physics simulations proved that wet sand reduces friction by up to 50%, making it much easier to pull heavy loads. They likely built temporary roads, watered them, and then used wooden sledges to slide blocks across the desert. But what about the biggest stones? The 70-ton granite beams used inside the Great Pyramid. Those came from Aswan, over 500 miles away. The answer again: water transport. The Egyptians built massive boats to float the granite slabs down the Nile when the river was higher during flood season. We often forget, the Nile was their superhighway. Section 4. How did they lift the stones? This is where the theories get really interesting. There are 3 major theories, and each has strong evidence. Theory 1. Ramps, but not the way you think. The old-school idea is that Egyptians built straight ramps up the pyramid, but this makes no sense. Such a ramp would need to be over a mile long and require more material than the pyramid itself. So what did they actually do? Option A. The spiral ramp theory. A ramp wrapped around the pyramid as it rose. Workers pulled stones up in a circular pattern. Supporting evidence: weak tool marks along the pyramid's outer edges. Ancient Egyptian engineering drawings hint at similar methods. Option B. The internal ramp theory. Proposed by architect Jean-Pierre Houdin, This theory suggests a ramp inside the pyramid, spiraling upward within the structure itself. Some 3D scans of the pyramid show strange internal voids that line up with this idea. If true, the pyramid is literally hiding the evidence inside it. Theory 2. Counterweights and levers. Egyptians were masters of simple machines. Some researchers believe they built a huge counterweight lift system using sand-filled bags or a seesaw structure to raise heavy blocks vertically. A brilliant use of physics. 4,000 years before modern cranes. Theory 3. Water lifting, buoyancy techniques. More controversial but incredibly interesting. Some scholars think Egyptians used water channels and created temporary buoyant lifts around the pyramid. Floating stones up is far easier than lifting them manually. There is no direct evidence, but the Egyptians' mastery of water engineering makes it possible. Section 5. The secret you never hear about. The workers. Forget the myths about slaves. The pyramids were built by paid workers, skilled craftsmen, engineers, architects, and labor teams who lived in well-organized worker villages. Archaeologists uncovered bakeries, breweries, medical facilities, and barracks. These were not slaves. They were proud citizens who considered pyramid construction a sacred national project. Teams competed with each other. They painted their team names on blocks, like the Drunkards of Menkaure or the Friends of Khufu. This workforce organization is a hidden ingredient in their success. Section 6. The mind-blowing level of mathematics. One fact shocks modern engineers. The Great Pyramid is almost a perfect geometric structure. Its sides differ in length by less than 2 inches. Its base is almost a perfect square. Its orientation to true north is incredibly precise. They didn't just build a pyramid. They created a cosmic instrument aligned with the heavens. Some researchers believe the pyramid encodes mathematical constants like pi and phi within its proportions. Whether intentional or not, the result is extraordinary. Section 7. Inside the pyramid. A structure ahead of its time. Inside the Great Pyramid, a complex internal layout supports the entire weight of millions of tons of stone. The relieving chambers are a stroke of engineering genius. By stacking angled blocks above the king's chamber, they distributed the weight so the room wouldn't collapse. It's the same method modern skyscrapers use to distribute forces. Section 8. Theories that go beyond traditional explanations. Now, let's talk about the theories that spark endless debate. Some believe the Egyptians had tools or techniques we simply haven't discovered yet. For example, some stone-cut marks look like they were made with drills that rotated extremely fast, faster than typical copper tools should allow. Is it proof of lost tech? Not necessarily, but it raises fascinating questions. The Great Pyramid has unique acoustic properties. Some scientists think the Egyptians understood resonance better than we realize. Could they have used vibration to assist in cutting or lifting stones? We can't prove it. But the idea continues to intrigue researchers. The truth is, humans built the pyramids, brilliant, organized, determined humans. And the real story is even more impressive than any alien theory. What was the real secret? So, after exploring all the theories, what's the truth? The pyramids were not built with magic, not with aliens, not with forgotten superweapons. They were built with brilliant engineering, precise mathematics, massive teamwork, advanced planning. The real secret is this: the ancient Egyptians understood something we often underestimate. That's the true legacy of the pyramids, a reminder that human beings, even thousands of years ago, were capable of extraordinary feats.